All right, one of my members just closed $3,400 upfront plus 11% commission with a wealth management firm while working a full-time job as a dad with two kids trying to build this on the side. And he did it in less than a week. One message, one call, one deal. But here's the crazy part. The $3,400 isn't even the real win. That's just the beginning, because I'm about to show you how we turn this single client into $200,000 per year. This is what happens on a first client reward call. Nobody talks about this. You're about to see it. And at the end, I'll build one of these systems live. Quick story, in the past 6 months, I've done over 500 of these calls. Someone closes their first deal and I get on a call with them. We make sure they don't mess it up, but we don't just talk about doing the work. We talk about the big picture. How do you find the right people? How do you know what they need? How do you build a system that runs on its own? And most importantly, how do you turn this first client into a 200K per year? And here's what he posted. First client closed $3,452 upfront plus 11% commission. Been pretty quiet and just watching everyone win here for a while. So feels good to finally share something on my own. I just made my first sale with a wealth management firm in the US. As a husband with two kids and a full-time job, it's been stressful trying to build this on the side. So this small win means a lot. He called it a small win. Still feels a bit surreal, but definitely motivating. Thank you, San, for the prompts you shared last week. They helped more than you probably realize. Happy to be here and excited to keep pushing forward. So I left my comments here, which is, man, this made me genuinely happy to read. And it did. While being a husband, while raising kids, most would have quit long before this point. You didn't. This isn't a small win. This is a proof that the system works even in the most constrained, pressure-filled seasons of life. Congrats, man. First client closed, family fed, momentum building. That's the shit that matters, right? Now, he called it a small win. So I told him this isn't small. This is the entry point to life-changing money. So let me show you the 5 things we covered. First, how he got paid. He charged $3,400 upfront. Good, but he also got 11% of every deal they close. That's the smart move. Why? Well, because the upfront pays you now. The percentage pays you forever. If this firm closes $1 million in deals, his 11% is $110K from just one client. That's the entire game. The second thing is how to get more clients like this. Well, one client becomes your proof. You go to other wealth management firms and you say, I did this for them. I can do it for you. They all need the same thing. So you build a simple funnel. And here's what that looks like. You record a 2-minute video of yourself talking, no fancy editing, just you. And you say, hey, I connect wealth management firms with pre-vetted decision makers. And here's how it works. I have systems that find the right people. I vet them. I intro them to you. You close the deal and I take a percentage. Here's the proof. Then you show the results from your first client. That's the funnel. A simple video explaining what you do and who you do it for. Then you send it out with a simple message. And here's what you say. Hey, I noticed you work with high net worth clients. I just helped the name of the client you just helped get qualified, whatever they wanted. Would it make sense to do something similar for you? Here's a quick video showing how it works. And then you put the link. That's it. Simple message. Proof attached, clear offer. One client turns into 5, 5 turns into 10. Third, how to actually deliver this first client. Once you land clients, you have 2 choices. In his case, the client is a wealth management firm looking for family offices. Family offices are basically rich families with like 100 million or more who need help investing their money. Specifically, they're looking for family offices that invests in startups. So you build a system that finds these family offices and connects them to the wealth management firm. You teach their team to run it. They handle the day-to-day, and you collect 5 to 10% of every deal. Path 2, you run it for them. You do everything, find the family offices, vet them, make the intros, they just close deals, and they pay you like a monthly retainer, for example, 5 to 15K plus 10 to 15% of closed deals. For him, path 2 made more sense. Full-time job, 2 kids, no time to train people. So we went with path 2. Fourth, what we actually built on the call. Once we chose path 2, we built the entire system end to end together. We mapped out his signals, who to target, what they're looking for, when they need it. We also wrote his outreach, the exact message he will send. We set up his tracking, how he qualifies people, how he knows who's ready, and we built his intro process, what he says, how he positions it, and how he gets paid. 30 minutes, complete system. By the end of the call, he wasn't guessing anymore. He had a playbook he could run that week. All right, now that you understand how one client can turn into a 200K a year, let me show you the part nobody ever shows, how to actually build the system that feeds them clients forever. I'm going to pull up the exact tools and resources we use on that call. This is what it actually looks like when you build one of these systems. Because listen, a win is good, a deal is good, but what creates real money is a system that prints opportunities on demand. Everyone thinks finding clients is hard. It's actually not. What's hard is knowing exactly where the people with money are hiding. And here's where it gets fun. So let me show you something. This took us about 5 minutes and it's completely free. See this? This is one of my favorite gold mines. It's literally a list of family offices, private wealth firms, which is exactly what we want. List of best family offices investor directory 2025. Last updates December 1, 2025. Now, most of these lists are completely ignored by everyone in the AI and automation space. But if you just go to this openvc.app, which is investor lists / family offices, the only thing you have to do is simply just download the lists. That's pretty much it. There we go. So I'm just gonna put my email right here, submit. So I gotta go through this verification. So bicycles, here's a bicycle, another one, and that's pretty much it. There we go. Thanks for submitting the form. You will receive the download link in a few minutes. So let's check our email and done. Open VC your download. So here, hey there, here's your download link. Thanks, Steph. So now we can simply just download this, right? So if I click on it, I can download. Done. And then I can go to sheets.new and I'm simply just gonna put it in a Google Sheets and I'm gonna walk you through what we got. This is basically gold mine. So I'm gonna go to upload. I'm gonna simply just plug it here. And I'm gonna import location, append, import data. That's pretty much it. Let me close all these tabs. We don't need you. And that's pretty much it. Check this out. We got the investor name, the website, the global HQ, countries of investment, stages of investment, investment thesis, investment type, first check minimum, and also first check maximum. That's a lot of money. You can see here, there's $2 million, there's $14 million. And how many do we got? That's a lot. So we got, oh man. So 2,500. So you just got the list in like 30 seconds for free. Now watch what we do with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into my favorite font, which is Geese. And I'm going to bolden this up right here, just so it's more aesthetically pleasing. And then I'm going to name this Family Offices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to make.com, which is basically an automation no-code tool, okay? I have here a new scenario. And all I got to do is simply just go to Google Sheets and I'm going to go to search rows. So go to search rows, okay? And all you got to do is just copy the name of your Google Sheets. Make sure to authenticate your account, okay? You want to go to a spreadsheet ID, go to family office here. Sheet name is going to be sheet 1. And then want to go to limit and let's just put 1 for now, because when you put 1, you're just going to get 1 record, which is going to be the first one right here, okay? Click on save and then run once. So now obviously I'm going to get the data, which is investor name, website, global HQ, exactly the same thing here. I just pulled it using my no-code tool, which is make.com. So this is step 1. Step 2 is finding decision makers. First, we need to find the actual decision makers at those firms, not just the company, the people who make investment decisions. And the tool we're going to be using is going to be Rapid API. Rapid API is basically like a marketplace for different tools and data sources. Think of it like an app store, but for APIs, ways to pull information from the internet automatically. And we're using the Google Search API. This pulls the actual decision makers at each firm, founders, partners, vice presidents, heads of capital allocation, anyone who touches investment decision. And here's why we focus on founders specifically. You might be thinking, Saad, why? Well, this client already is making millions. They're established. So founders want to talk to established players. They make fast decisions, no committees, no layers. That's the target. So I'm going to click on this plus button and I'm going to go to Google Search API, which is this one. Okay, I'm just using the free plan. You can totally just use the free plan and get up and running. They give you like a pretty generous amount of API calls. Now you will notice that there's a Google search as in query Nike. So essentially they're doing the same thing. It's kind of like if you want to go to Nike here, you type in Nike, right? This is how you do it using their API all automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a document and essentially it has everything that you're going to need, prompts, etc. So we can just build the system. And this is the one that I want is going to be Rapid API. Okay, so we're just going to copy this. You want to go back. We're going to add an HTTP request. So HTTP in the search, HTTP, make a request. Okay, you want to paste this here in the URL. And you see this website here, you're going to plug the website. Okay, and then the method is going to be get, because if I go here, it's get. And then header is going to be the header. So all I got to do is just copy this thing, put it in a header. Okay, and then the host is going to be the host, and the value of the host is this one. Okay, I want to scroll down and let me remove myself from here so you can see. Actually, you can see everything, right? So I'm going to go to headers again and then go to Rapid API key, copy this entire thing, put it right here. And this is your API key. It's basically like whenever you sign up to Rapid API, they're going to give you your own API key. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I parse the response and click on save. Okay, now if I run once, to check this out, if I go to results data, if I go here, I will find the person. Is it the right person? Okay, investor and trader within what? Okay, co-founder in what? All in one group. It's the right person, right? All in one group, right? Check this out. That was exactly, this is what we want. Okay, so this is going to be Rapid API. Okay, Google Decision Maker. Okay. Now, if you notice, the API gives you clutter. Job titles are messy, formatting is broken, names are incomplete. So we will feed this into a simple AI prompt that extracts the full names, removes the garbage text, and formats the titles properly, standardize everything so it's usable. So I'm going to add an Azure model, which is basically just like an AI model. You can use any AI model that you want. I'm going to go to GPT-4o, and I'm simply going to type in extract the full name from, and I'm going to feed in the results from here, which is title, extract as it might be reflected in the person's LinkedIn, which is the person's LinkedIn here, which is URL, output the full name only. Okay, so now if I save this and I run once, boom, I got the full name cleaned. Okay, so this is going to be clean names or clean full names. So there we go. It took us 5 seconds. You go from like chaos to like a clean decision maker list. And this is why systems win. Okay, check this out. We got decision makers right now, not just company names. Okay, humans. That alone puts you on like the top 1% of operators. Okay, so now that we have the decision makers, okay, now that we know who we're contacting, now we're going to pull the company domain, and the founder's full name we just found is going to be the raw material, and we're going to find their emails. To do this, normally I tell people use an email finder, which is basically like a email enrichment platform. It's pretty good. But for him, he's going to use our own in-house platform that I built specifically for people in the community to lower the cost and remove the biggest bottleneck in the connector model, which is email finding and verifications. So let's use an email finder. Okay. So I'm just going to go to an email finder, search for a person's email. Okay. And then I'm going to go to an email finder right here, go to app. I'm going to go to API, copy this, and then go to add here, add my API key and save. I'm going to go to search by domain. Domain is going to be the domain that we just got in here. And the full name is going to be full name. Okay, now let's run this at like, for example, 2. Let's see. Let's run once. Okay, that was pretty quick. Let's see. Okay, and then let's see if we found any emails. And now we have it. Verified emails, decision makers' names, and company data all in one place. So now step 3 is we're going to write a laser accurate outreach, because this is where it gets powerful. We have investor names. We got their investment thesis. We got the decision maker names, their emails. So we get the system to write laser accurate outreach. Why does this matter? Well, because now your message isn't going to be generic. You're not going to be sending, hey, hope you're well. You're going to be saying, hey, Sarah, I noticed your firm invests in like early stage fintech across Latin with a focus on risk sensitive growth. Okay. I'm currently connecting wealth managers with founders who match exactly that profile. This is why replies coming in like 24 hours. The data does the selling. So I'm going to click on this plus button. Again, I'm going to use Azure. You can use any AI model that you want. And I'm simply going to plug the prompt and I'm going to leave it for you so you can copy and paste it too. So I'm going to go to user and content, and I'm simply just going to copy the prompt right here for AI. Copy, paste this right here, simple. And I'm just going to feed it everything. Okay. So I'm going to add in the investor name, the global HQ, the countries of investment, stage of investment, investment thesis, investor type, first check, and first check maximum and minimum. Okay. And before I do this, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to unlink this. Okay. And actually, I'm going to link it and I'm going to add one more thing here. Okay. So I'm going to add a tools. Okay. So set variable. I'm going to show you the end result. Name is connector, copy. And I'm going to say, hey, first name, so split. I'm going to use a make formula that splits the full name based off a space. And then I'm going to get 1. Okay, get 1. Okay, and I'm going to say, I'm going to add one cool line. Okay, so I'm going to say, been mapping some signals lately. And we're going to have the AI output here. Now, the first line I used is been mapping some signals lately, which is high status language. You're not asking for anything. You're not pitching. You're stating what you've been doing. Like you're in the middle of like doing something very important and they just happen to fit. So it's the business equivalent of like casually mentioning you just got back from like a conference in Monaco and you weren't trying to impress anyone, right? But now they're interested. It positions you as the operator who sees the market, not the vendor who needs a client. Then the rest is pure data. Their investment focus, their check size, what you do. So let me show you the end result. I'm going to click on save and run once. And check this out. Hey, Eric, been mapping some signals lately and noticed one in all typically backs consumer and healthcare groups in the 50 to 40 million level. I collaborate with a firm that speaks with family offices about selective opportunities. Let me know if you'd like contacts. See, this is exactly a 10 out of 10 connector copy. So the data does the selling, and I'm going to give you the prompt that generates this at scale for free. Okay. So the last step, okay, is we're going to add not the last step. The last step is going to be plugging everything to a cold email software, which is going to be instantly. So the condition here is going to be email exists. Okay. So email found or email exists. Okay. This is going to be 101 copy. Okay. That's pretty much it. And now all I got to do is go to Instantly. Instantly is basically like a cold email software that allows you to send millions of outreach messages a month. Okay. Demo first client reward, continue. And then all I gotta do is go to instantly right here, create a lead. Okay, create a lead. And then all you gotta do is you wanna click on this add button and you wanna go back, scroll down right here, go to settings, you wanna go to integrations. And then all you gotta do, go to API keys, create a new API key. You can name this, for example, whatever you want. Go to scopes, make sure it's all, and create one. And you have your API key. All you gotta do is just go back, paste it here, and save. That's pretty much it. That's how you authenticate instantly in Make.com. Okay? So now I can go to campaign ID and I'm gonna get or retrieve the exact campaign from instantly that I just created right now. Okay? So there we go. It's called demo first line reward. Now the email is gonna be the email found from here. The personalization is going to be the entire copy. The website, we already have the website. The last name, let's just copy this from here. Okay, let's just copy it. There we go, done. And then let's just paste this here. Now, since we got last name is going to be 2, okay? So 2. Reason why is because if I go right here, so you see this little space here, it's going to pull 1 and 2, okay? So now first name is going to be 1, okay? Company name is the investor name. And that's pretty much it, okay? All we got to do is just run once. There we go. And we added every single thing. My go-to campaigns. We added our lead right here. Awesome. Perfect. So I can add personalization here. And then in terms of the subject line, I'm going to be like, quick intro for first name. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to add sends from my iPhone because it's kind of like my little hack. Just shows that you actually wrote this on the phone. And when you actually say this, imagine someone receives this. Been mapping some signals lately and noticed O1 Ventures typically backs deep tech software and hardware teams at the 250K to 2 million level. I collaborate with a firm that speaks with family offices about selective opportunities. Let me know if you'd like more context. Okay. And then you have sent from my iPhone. You have this entire copy that feels like you just went through the website or LinkedIn, right? Well, you didn't. AI did. And it still sends from my iPhone. It just gives this human feel, right? So let's just run this at, like, for example, 10. Let's remove this filter. And then let's just put, for example, 10. Save. And then let's just run once. So now we're just going to let the system run. And here's the key. You don't do this once. You do this every single week. New data, new decision makers, new investors, new signals, new intros, new revenue share, and also new monthly retainers. The system keeps running. And from this list, like 2,500 family offices, his client doesn't need all of them, not even close. If he intros just like 4 family offices a month and his client closes just 1 or 2, that's millions in deals. His 11% commission, that's like 50 to 100 to 200K a year from one system, from one free database. And by the way, there are hundreds of these databases, free, public, ignored by 99% of people. So the leads never run out. The system never stops. And this is how a spreadsheet becomes a printing press. This is how one client becomes 200K a year. And this is how you become uncuttable, because they can't replace a system that finds money on demand. All right, so that's the system. You just watched how a $3,400 client becomes 200K per year. And remember this, you don't get paid for the intros. You get paid for the ability to make intros whenever you want. That ability is distribution. Distribution is a monopoly, and a monopoly prints money. That's the game. So that's it. Get out there, take action. I believe in you, and talk soon.